And welcome. We are here. We are recapping what happened over those Concacaf Nations League quarterfinal matchups. It is myself, Africans. We have Mr. JD IMAX in the building. JD, how you doing today?
I am dancing like Drew Ross, because he said the music got him dancing. So I am dancing as well. I'm wondering when I'm going to get my intro. Yes, I've been waiting on it a
Hey,
while now. Yes.
so
But
the
I
intro.
am good, recovering from a little bit of aches here and there. But I'm definitely good though. Thanks to the
Yeah.
viewers. Massive respect as you come in. Please do hit the like button on both channels. I will try to send the link for both channels in all the locations. So subscribe if you do see it. Yes, Africans, or are you recovering? Because I know it was
Uh,
a tough loss. So, or are you recovering, and what you made of the entire Concacaf results as well?
I I think there are things that you can be surprised about. I also think there are things that maybe are a bit of a shock, in both a negative and a positive sense. I think for the most part, I had most of the teams going, save for probably my team, and we'll talk about that at some point. But yeah, the results didn't surprise me. I was a little bit upset. I really wanted Honduras to do the job against Mexico because I felt that they did everything they could to get the result. And then Concacaf made a call. The refs made two calls, and I don't know what it is. Whenever Mexico needs a goal, whatever extra time they give or additional time they give, 3 minutes later they'll score the goal, and then they'll call the game there. It happened to Canada in the Gold Cup in 2021. Happened to Honduras as well. So I think it's interesting to look at it, but we'll look at it as we go. I like the teams here. I think it's good what we're seeing in CONCACAF as more teams start to get up to that level. It's good for the region. The more competitive the teams are, the better it is for the region because you can't sit back and not do anything, right? You can't just sit and say, hey, we're good with what we have, because sitting back on that, and let's be real, Canada's a prime example of that. Canada sat back with what they had, thinking that that can get them over, and in the end, it didn't let them go through. And I think as the region continues to improve, I think then we'll see more teams have to improve their development, but then also B, when it comes to finding players and coming through, it'll be good. But overall, I like this matchup. These final four teams in the CONCACAF semis. But guys, thank you for being here today. There's a lot of people in the chat. Want to say some time for you. Yes, Drew Ross, I know. And as JD said, JD, I finished the intro this morning. I'll
I
send it
want
to
it
you.
to look like yours, that
You want to
I'm
look like mine? No,
dancing before it starts. So I'm in a happy mood to come and
in
give
a good,
you the
happy mood.
chilling effect,
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Alrighty, guys. And notifications worked this time, so we're happy that worked. Guys, thank you for being here. Really appreciated that. We got Drew Ross again. We have S Technic. JD, that's for you. Good to see you. Demoy, nice to see you on the channel as well. Kavan James, always a pleasure to have you here. We see you, Mr. Corey MPA. Dark Bessar, I see you. It's been a long time. Appreciate the haps. And yep, Pierre Badet says it well. Congratulations to the Jamaican team for making the Copa America. And that's true. Those semifinalist teams have made it to Copa America. And I think it is very good to see. And yeah, Drew Ross. We will see. We will see. We will see indeed. And as it says, we'll I mean, we could start here, but we'll get to those four. But let's get to this question first before we get to those four teams that got there. Do you think Jamaica's the top four team in CONCACAF now? Like how we finished in the top four, like last CONCACAF, both Gold Cup and now Nations League? I think it's a good
Ooh,
conversation to
you,
have.
you took my. I had my question to ask you. You know, that's why I don't like to rush the shows. You know, Kevin Williams like to rush the show. I had that to
Hey.
ask. You know, but I wanted to discuss the games them because that's how you lead towards who's actually top four. Because if you answer the question
Yeah.
directly, people will start to think what they want to think. So if you give them a justifiable reason as to where you put who, they could understand it. You understand me? Because the last
Mm,
time I listed my top five, people never understood exactly where I was trying to come from. You know, yes. So,
yes.
based off all the results, oh, you look at it. All right. Oh, you look at it.
How I look at it,
Yes, like your
um,
top five in order. How would you look at it?
okay, so my
Or
top
you want to
five in
discuss the games then before you get into
let's
the
talk
top
about the
five?
games first because
Oh, yes,
once we talk
that's what
about
I
the games,
thought.
it'll be very obvious about what we where we see each other. So first, number three team or number two team here, the U.S. They beats Trinidad 3-0 at home, and then go to Trinidad and lose 2-1. Famously, Sergio Dest with the red card. One of the more comical red cards you'll see in life because he saw red, as they say, and he lost a lot of, not necessarily respect, but I don't know if you have to be careful with a player like that in those types of situations. It's CONCACAF, and this player isn't new to CONCACAF. This is not like he just got there for the first time. He's played in this region before. So whatever it is that would have the card that was called on him, which he felt it wasn't supposed to be, that's going to happen. This is CONCACAF. We know the horror stories of CONCACAF, right? Whether it's bags, batteries, grass up to your knees, this is the region. Whether we think it should be this way or not, that's what it is. And I think composure is what sets some teams apart. And ultimately, that sucks. Do I think that they are a better team ultimately without Sergio Dest in the lineup? I think Scally's a better fullback than Joe Scally's a better fullback than Serginho Dest, but it looks like Scally at his club, Gladbach, is starting to get reps at center back. If that's the case, that at least gives the U.S. a few options as a maybe a back three option for them. But I think overall, the U.S. ended up losing to Trinidad and Tobago down a man. Trinidad had a lot of opportunities once they got into 2-1, where they had a breakaway chance, empty chance, another one, and then after a minute, it was just felt like okay, they're not going to get more than two, and then they shut the game down. It's it is a little bit of my concern with this U.S. team, which is they have a plan, and if you adjust to that plan, I don't. The long and short of it is, I don't trust Berhalter as a coach. Berhalter has probably the most talented U.S. roster ever assembled, and because he's the coach, I think they are not clear fully of Mexico. I don't think they're clear even of a team like Panama and the other teams coming after them. I don't trust him in his coaching to get the players in the right position to play because he's so rigid in how he wants to play. So I'm a bit concerned in terms of whether or not he can do that or not. What about you, JD? You saw the US beat Trinidad. Is Berhalter still holding them back, you think? Or do you think it's just a matter of this was just a hiccup, toss in the pan type of situation?
I like his pressing metric because you have to realize where the game is going. Yes, so he has a good
Mm,
base that he started with, but his additional styles might not have fitted well with these current crop of players that he does have, and maybe that is kind of hindering where he does go. Yes, so with that said, I think it might be a struggle and take them a little while to get it completely figured out. And what that says now, it could draw them back for them to dominate a game against Jamaica and still lose it because they are not cohesive enough. That's what I'm
mhm.
saying. So you could see a more even dominant display from them against Jamaica, but Jamaica could still have that one or two gaps. and score on them and win the game again. So they don't look like that rigid team that you're expected from the USA team. Because, for instance, even in the Gold Cup, that was a diluted USA team, and look how they played the energy, but also you could see a system pouring, and you wanted to
Mhm.
just put them, the big players in, because when the big players played in the Nations League against Mexico, that was one of the best perform. That is exactly where everyone expected the United States to be. That looks scary. You understand me? They looked like the number one team in CONCACAF flat out. But after Berhalter came back in, obviously he's trying to inject his plan because everyone has their own boards. It just looks like it take a big dip, and they are trying to go to pressing metric rather than trying to play detailed in the final third. So it's a
Mhm.
complete difference as to what they were trying. No, they are trying to overhaul people with just pure speed, power, and consistent stamina. You understand me? And then obviously you have the quality to just overshadow everyone. So that's what he's trying to do. It's going to take a while to complete, and all of the top three teams do stand a chance to defend and maybe save 3, 4 big chances and then get something on them.
Mhm. No, that is definitely true. So I think it's a fair assessment. I think time will continue to tell, but I just keep on having the feeling that with this coach, where this US team could maybe take 3 strides forward, they're only taking one. And with teams behind them are taking their 3 strides, the gap is closing a lot more. And I think it's mainly because the coach and how he's deploying. And yeah, injuries happen to everyone, like people are saying. Um, I think ultimately you go with the players that you have, and that comes down to the coach and their selection. But that is all right. The next match we have up right next to that USA Trinidad, we have Panama effectively dismantling Costa Rica 6-1 over the leg. I thought it'd be close, but it's like Panama has Thomas Christensen, to me, is the best coach in this region. And he has this Panama team playing on a heater. They are moving the ball well, and they played Costa Rica again, and it didn't matter. What do you make of JD this Panamanian squad? And
Um,
I would go as far to say is right now on form, they're the best team in Concacaf.
yeah, based on form, they got to get the number one team based on form. But we are not going to act like they don't have quality. Their quality is
Mm,
actually coming through because Karaskila breaking through. Um, Andreas Andrade not having his best time for club, but also coming back in form for country. You understand me? They added an next forward that started to click. He had talent before, but it looked like things never worked out, and it's working out now. So with all of that put together with a sublime system and enough time for it to be seeping in, I do believe that they have taken the top performing spot officially, but need to go out
mm,
and beat one of the big teams with their big squads, and then they are going to take the top spot officially. And I do believe that even the FIFA ranking is going to be even sure that they are actually closer to the top two rather than the top three. That's what I do believe. I think in this FIFA window, they are going to slide further and further away from Canada, to be honest. So I think they are going to be the official top three team and fully deserve it, if not even go down a little bit, and not, but yeah, based on performance, top one, the top spot, they do grab.
yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I think when it comes from performance, they are very much playing, I think, the best football in the region. There's no doubt. I know it seems like they're destined to play Costa Rica forever. But Costa Rica, again, in that transition phase, getting some younger players onto the pitch. But I think ultimately, yeah, Panama is looking like, I think, I've said this on the post match for Canada versus Jamaica, and I'll say it again. I want no part of Panama right now. Um, just the way that they're playing, it just feels as if you're going to need just a lot to get past a team like that. And based off what our form, what Canada's form was, I didn't think they were going to get past it. But I think Panama right now, they're. I don't. I hope this isn't their peak, but this may be their peak for maybe these next 2 years. I think they can maintain this level for
Yeah,
like
but
another
I've
year.
I've just talked about Andreas Andrade and
Yeah,
Kariskila and those
Kaviskia.
guys.
Yeah,
They are young. They are young, so it's not their
mm,
peak because Hannibal Gadai and those guys are getting older. But you have
yeah,
younger guys coming in. They have not hit their peak as yet. So imagine how scared they're going to look, and they're transitioning well because majority of the 21 to 27, they're actually in the team full-fledged now. So the 31 and 32 years old them are getting phased out. You understand me?
yeah,
And they're getting results. So I think they have done their transition properly and already set up for next transition to come in because the Walder and those guys give them 2 years and they're going to be around the big team. You understand me?
yeah,
And they will have enough quality to usher them in. So I think what they are doing is very good, and I don't think Panama will fade off. I think what they're going to do next is to start getting big contracts, so they don't have to
yes,
force develop their players. Their players will be developed via clubs, just like what Jamaica and other places doing. That's what I do believe will happen with Panama, to be honest. So I am
no,
not
and I
worried about
yeah,
Panama. I think they're gonna do well because they are spending the most money in the region on players and
yeah.
facilities, and it's definitely showing.
No, and I think it definitely shows they have a coach and a team playing to the investment that they're now starting to make. And I think you see some of those young players as they develop. Maybe they can find a few duels here and there that can come in and supplement the roster as well as it can be. But yeah, they are working well, and I'm not worried about them. It just I don't think this is gonna be a flash in the pan. I think it came across what I was saying. It was the wrong way to say it. I think they've reached a level now, right? And it's the same thing I said about Canada. Can you now maintain this level for like the next year? I think they can. And then after next year, if their development goes as we think it'll go, I think at the end of 2024, that's when you see that rocket on them. And then they start to really push to a conversation in CONCACAF and maybe a little bit more on an international stage in terms of hey, this is a team we should be watching. This World Cup is happening. Yes, it's the US, Mexico, and Canada who are hosting, but it's a CONCACAF World Cup, and if they're able to make it, yeah, I think every CONCACAF team can say that. Whichever CONCACAF teams make this World Cup, this is a home one for you as well. So you might as well take as much advantage of it as you can. We talked about it a little bit when we were there. Honduras versus Mexico. JD, I don't know. Honduras, I didn't expect to get much, and then they gave me something. And then I
Hmm.
said, can they do it? And the powers that be said no. Um, before this turns into a conversation about who made calls and additional time and no time and whatnot, did Mexico deserve to make it to the semifinal, in your opinion? Winning 4-2 on penalties after winning 2-0 in Mexico.
Based off the performance itself, I would say yes. Based off the
Okay.
performance, the attitude that Honduras showed in the game, they did not deserve to go through because I thought that I don't know, I think it was a bit of both, a combination of them getting pressed so high at the pitch, they barely
Hmm.
could have come out. So it leaves and they are leading. So they're saying, okay, we have 2 goals, so let me try and protect the 2 goals. And to be honest, Mexico performed so well and missed so much sitters. You have to say
Hmm.
that yes, they deserve to go through. Yes, I do believe that the extra time was too much. Yes, but they had enough chances in the game, and it looks like even if they had 4 goals scored on them, they could have with clinical finishing. They could have still won the game 5-6-0, 7-0, 7-8, 8-0, 9-0, 10-0. It doesn't really matter the amount of chances they have to create in the day, and how dominant they looked. So I would say yes, they deserve to go through. And to be honest, you want to beat the best teams at all times. Not saying you should falsify to push people through, but I'm glad that Mexico made it over Honduras at the first, because at the end of the day, we don't want Concacaf to be overrun by the America, the Argentinians, and you know we pick up 12 and 13 love from some of these teams, because I'm telling you, when the reality comes up, we are going to learn how good South American teams are. You understand me? So I would say Mexico deserve to go through, and I think they will put a much more valiant showing against the big teams. Them, I'm not so confident in all of the other teams. Them, how good of a performance they're gonna put in.
Which, like, look, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of you want to put your best showing, you're trying to showcase your region, I get what you're saying, JD. But if a team misses 8 chances and the other team buries their two, at the end of the day, the team that gets the chances, don't they then just deserve, regardless of what the outcome is, right? It doesn't matter if UK from a showing standpoint is. At the end of the day, the result is what goes through. And I think in that sense, I think on that note, Honduras deserved to go through because they had the result.
Oh,
But
okay, but Africans, I'm gonna show you all life funny. But we could
yeah,
say that the same way against Canada. Jamaica played better than Canada in none of the two legs. Them, I wouldn't say so, because clearly Canada media don't believe that Jamaica deserved to win the game, none at all. Canada create more chances than Jamaica, but you still got knocked out. And then so you have to ask Canada, why are they still acting like that on their media? Because up to now, I still saw people on their media talking about it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
I always try to equate the proper performance and give it a little bit more credit and say maybe it's because of bad luck. You understand me?
yeah,
Yes, so that's why I
and
said,
that's fair.
based
Yeah.
on what I saw Mexico could bring, I want a better representation of the CONCACAF region. You understand me?
Hmm.
So that's why I said that. So, and I just brought up the Canada something to show you that when a team, when somebody watching football and they realize, oh no, this team is actually better, and this team played better, did everything, and just never won it on the day, they are going to still give the team that lost credit, but maybe blame them for their poor finishing, but still have to
Yeah.
give the other person credit nonetheless. So Panama, Honduras, we gave them the Honduras the credit, fair enough. But over the one leg, Mexico was so dominant. I think they would be a better representation in a higher seeded
Mhm.
seed for Concacaf than Honduras. That's all I was trying to say.
And I don't have a problem with you saying that because I think that that's rather factual in terms of going the back and forth. So you have and the one I guess everyone is here for, or not, we'll see. Jamaica 4-4 on aggregate, going through, beating Canada 3-2, and BMO, so getting that result on away goals. Um, yeah, I mean I know how you feel, JD. And everyone's here to see me concede. I don't know how I feel about this game in a greater in a nutshell. I don't know how I feel about it because again, from a result standpoint, Jamaica finished their chances, Canada did not, right? This I I didn't just give any type. I didn't freak out over things, but there were some things I saw where I was just like, really? Like, so there was one media that says, okay, it was like a devastating loss. I was like, well, losing to Jamaica was always a possibility. So I'm not sure why we're talking about like this is just a thing that you never saw happening. Even if you look, because I said this to you, even we looked at the rosters walking into this matchup, Jamaica's players were in better form than Canada's players. There's no denying that. So there's the reality of they're playing better right now. You aren't. Yes, you got the band together, and that's the second thing I said. Canada brought together the 2021 roster and tried to replay the hits in 2023. It didn't work. It lasted enough, but they didn't get their opportunities. And three, just give me one
But
minute
how
here.
much you would blame that on your coach? Because I thought that your coach tried to change things from where you were pretty much dominant from. I don't know if it's because of the goal. He just decided that he's going to just change things. So how much the naivety from your coach caused that problem? Or
I
Jamaica was that just good enough, good there? I just
think
ask you that because I have an answer.
yeah.
I have my own take. So let's go ahead.
I don't think this coach. I mean, this coach had few opportunities, and right now he didn't. This if this matchup versus Jamaica was his audition, his resume, this was he failed. Um, Everyone in Canada can agree that this was not the best roster to bring. Right? All Canadians can agree. Now, whether some want to say we should have slapped up the pitch with Jamaica, I thought it was going to be close. I said 4-2 on aggregate, winning 2-1 each time. So I was wrong on one side and right on the other. I don't think this coach has the game acumen to adjust to things. And I think that was the problem. Yes, you have chances. Chances go both ways, right? Canada can say we missed all the chances in the first half. Jamaica can say if Leon Bailey could hit, I don't know, the frame of the goal just more than once, it's a different game. And so chances are there either way. I don't think that this coach was good, nor did I think that this roster was good in terms of who they selected. And even when it came to like the substitutions that they didn't make substitutions to adjust to what Jamaica was doing. They just went like for like. Secondly, they didn't make those substitutions until the 74th minute. After Jamaica has come back, by the time they make a change, it's already 3-2. And they say, like for like, Kone, like for like, um, Buchanan, like for like. So you're not really adjusting. You're just still saying, we got here this way. We're going to play this way. And I think that was the first mistake because the one thing that Jamaica did that Canada didn't do is they adjusted, right? They made one move and they adjusted. So in that greater scheme, I think from a standpoint, I think coaching let them down. I never liked this coach, period. And this further proves for how I feel about that coach in terms of this position. Even if you look at his even if you look at his resume with the U20s, you look at his resume through all things, they weren't able to get those results. And so to me, it's a question of I don't know exactly what they were trying to do. They just played the same way. So I think not to say it was all coaching at the end of the day, what's it called? Jamaica buried their chances and they won, right? In that second half, they made the adjustments needed to win, and they did, and I give them all the credit to do it. Um, I'm not going to say that this is more about our coaching than them because your coach made those substitutions. Your coach made those moves. So in that matchup, Hogwartson won. There's no denying that. There is no denying that whatsoever. And so I think for Canada, if I'm going to put on my extremely biased Homer Canadian hat, I'd say play us when we have an actual coach. That's like the most arrogant way I can look at it from a Canadian perspective, where I'd say, yeah, play us when we actually have a coach and then we'll see. And if we lose again, they have credit. I'm not wearing that hat because I don't think that's the only difference. Like I said, Jamaica was in form, Canada was not. So I think right now, when it comes to that, Jamaica got the result because they made the adjustments needed to win, and Canada did not, and it simply came down to that.
All right, so guys, we have 130 in the house, and I don't know how much is our Africans, but any one of the channels here on, please do hit the like button. We are here for 30 minutes, so get the likes up. Subscribe to Africans as well. I was trying to pin Africans link.
Mhm.
I think Africans, you can share the link on my platform as well. I think if you share it, just share it, and then I can repaste it back again, or give me the private chat so I can share it so people can go
No,
over
for
there as
sure,
well.
for sure.
Um,
I want to get to this
um,
Jerome. Or do you want to go
Yes, go,
to it?
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead.
So
We have
because
extended a little bit. Maybe have
yeah,
extended a little bit to get every comment. Yeah.
yeah, for
Do you
sure.
think? Do you
We're gonna
think? Do
go
you
to
think?
the yeah. So Jermaine asked this: is it fair to say that Canada is a one-hit wonder like vanilla ice cream? What do you think? Is it that your team just had a good run? I don't know if they've had a good run. The thing I'll always say about a team that comes out of nowhere is what happens after they reach a level matters most. And so the example I always make is when you look at like when Ghana first made the World Cup in 2006, right? If you look at what they did on a international level, especially their youth teams, right? U17s made the semifinals of that, won the U20s. So by the time that their next World Cup came, they had players that they can say, okay, they've been through U17, they've been through U20. we can pluck, hey, here's a fresh Kevin Prince Boateng. Let's bring him into the roster. And then Ghana now has the core of 2006 with a lot of hungry young players. And then you have a few dual nationals that you come in. So for me, how good Canada is going to be is going to come down to that next group. And I think the problem that Canada had with this is they stuck with this group, I think, one generation, one cycle too many. There are good young players that are out there for Canada that I feel would have contributed way better, but they weren't, right? A player like Ike Ugbo, who made the World Cup roster, wasn't selected. That's the coach's choice. That's fine. Canada has enough winger slash creative outside depth players that are there, but they didn't call them up for whatever reason. They went back and went to the veterans. And in different senses, you could say the veterans are the players that held them back. You also need players who can really accentuate the players that you have and really help them to really play to their strengths. And I don't think they really have that here. It's more so playing through. I know, like in Canada, one of the big conversations after this game is Alfonso Davies playing too individualistic? And to that, I say, at times, yes. But also, when push comes to shove, you know what it feels like every Canadian player does? The ball funnels towards him. So is it his fault that everyone's passing him the ball and then he has to create something? There are times, yes, in the
And
game where yeah,
and
go.
to be honest, Africans,
Mhm,
you could have a shout that he was the best player in the park for both games because he created the most chances in both
mhm,
games. And it's like, because we have him as this world class player in the region, if he doesn't
mhm,
score 16 goals against Jamaica that's filled with English Premier League players, it's a failure. Which I think that's where I can't stand it on the Canadian media. I think that, and no, I understood where tactical manager was actually talking about, where he's saying that the Canadians are rude because they believe that they have already arrived, which I think that's where the problem lies. I truly believe that they thought that they already arrived and they're on that pinnacle. And I think that they should they should just give it little time and be consistent over a period of 4 or 5 years. To Jeremy in question, saying that if obviously posed it to Africans, look at Africans frozen. He's gonna come back in soon. From me, I think Canada cannot be a one-hit wonder, because when you look at it, if you look at both of the games, them, you wouldn't say that, oh, we were the better team in none of the games and based off how football played. So if you can always play football, you're going to get consistent results. You're going to get results way more consistent than teams that just can have to rely on the moments. And I still believe that Jamaica is still in the rely in the moments based on the system that the coach plays. It's harder to get results flat out. Every single game that we have watched, every single game. Honduras, it was an end to end. Honduras had to miss a goal in the end of the game for it to get a 1-0 victory. And missed a couple chances as well. Obviously, we could say Bobby Reed assisted, and that goal should have stood to make it 2-0. Okay, no problem. But aside from those chances, it was Honduras on the back foot. Then we go to 80. 80 scored two on us and could have scored 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't even matter. The game could have finished 8-8. Then you go back to 82.0. Then we have a little bit clearer thing, but the game could have still finished 5-4 in favor of Jamaica for that one. Then we go to Grenada. Grenada game could have finished 4-4 or slightly in favor of Grenada to madness. Even games that we are in very good control of, it turns out that you're not in control of the game. And that's what I'm saying. When you saw Canada look at, they have a system that they're still working with. They chop and change their players. Obviously, you have not gotten the same fluidity as to what they had before, because obviously they had a new manager. So it's harder for you to have that fluidity. And so I wouldn't say they are one hit wonder. That would be unnecessary, and I wish Jamaica was playing with like Canada and having the players that we have. You get me? And maybe take Alfonso Davis and put on our team as well.
mhm.
You know, that would make a perfect team for the region. So I wouldn't say they are one hit wonder. You know, I would want to say that I'm hoping that I can see a system as what Canada offers. with our players in it. That's what I would want to see in the
Mhm.
future.
Yeah, and I think to that again, as I was saying before I cut off. Sorry about that, guys. But ultimately, it's how you grow with it, right? The U.S. made the World Cup, for example, and they said, "What's the hole? We need a 9." They get Balogun. Now everything's at their 9 slots a lot better. You have Balogun, you have Pepe, and then whoever wants to come in and take third. Canada has yet to really truly identify what their problem positions were. And until they actually can be honest and say, we have a problem at center back, we haven't been able to replace it. We don't know who our striker number 3 is. We need to get one in and actually give him run. Is Alfonso Davies a fullback or a winger? They need to decide that for so many reasons, because in terms of a recruitment standpoint, are you trying to find more fullbacks or are you trying to find more wingers, right? And those are the same conversations that I think other countries will have. I think Mexico has to have a conversation in terms of they've left their players, those core players have aged out to the point where it's those young players, do they have they had enough runway to really get their feet and their confidence in this region? Right now, it doesn't seem like they do. Right? Jamaica right now has the players. Now it's how fast can they come together and can they identify the things that are missing with them? So I think any team could be a one hit, but it's how if you can identify your needs and actually try to find solutions for them, that'll determine how long of a run you can have. Right now, Canada had a good 2 to 3-ish year run. I don't think that they're going to fall off fully, but again, everyone else in this region has taken their steps and their strides.
So,
So I
so
think,
Africans, what we call
yeah,
class as a one it. What we class as a one it, because they have won the Concacaf region. So how much other
never Canada's
teams
never
have
won
had?
it. Yeah,
No, no, no. Canada won the Concacaf region. Yes, so they won it. So that's what they are classing as a one it. So how much other teams have ever won the Concacaf region in any competition aside from the norm, which is Mexico and United States? Which other team ever won it? Could you
other
actually
than those,
remember a time
yeah,
when someone else won it? Because I have not remembered a time,
no,
and I don't think anyone came close. You know.
yeah. No, yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think if anything causes Canada's demise, and someone I think MPW 94 says it best, I think it has more to do with their overall structure than it has to do with the players. They have the players, but the infrastructure isn't there, right? Like the most interesting fact that I remember. So the U17 tournament. Do you know who the top 2 clubs that were represented at the U17 tournament were in the world? Barcelona and TFC. Now, one of those things is not like the other. No offense to the players that are playing, but like Barcelona is the best. You could grew up in the Barcelona academy. People say you're going places. The joke with TFC Academy is you're going places once you leave TFC Academy. Because how many young TFC players have left and then they've become something? And so, like, and that's just the interesting note of it. Like, that's the dichotomy of it. One, you have the standard, the other one, you don't. So I think what the thing that will doom Canada ultimately is going to be their structure in terms of moving, in terms of getting players in, but development ultimately. But I think right now for Canada, they have at least a few months to sit back and regroup. They have to figure out their coaching situation in a one game matchup versus Trinidad. If it's the same coach, who will probably try to pick the same players in one game, do I like Canada's chances? Yes. Is it still a real possibility that the Soca Warriors can just walk onto the pitch? Mr. Jones steps up a free kick, gets it, and then that's game?
Nah,
Yes.
nah.
It's. I'm not saying it's going to
Nah.
happen. It's a possibility, JD. It's a
No, no.
possibility.
Listen to me. I had not said this. No, Trinidad can win a one-off game. That is definitely true. But I just
Yes.
believe that Trinidad's approach to games is what makes it much more difficult. You understand me? Their approach to all games in the with the big teams them is to sit back. And I thought that they have he had learned his lesson from the Jamaica game,
Hmm.
but it looks like this guy have not learned. Is like Angus is not a coach that will be proactive at any point.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So with that said, I think Canada will score a lot on Trinidad early on, and then they will score on Trinidad early on, and then Trinidad and them have to fight it out because Trinidad has to come out forward and
Yeah.
come out, and then let we see if Trinidad gets back a goal or Canada will
Hmm.
react. You understand me? Because that is the
Hmm.
problem. Because Trinidad can use that Jamaica effect on them as well. So that is how I could see Trinidad getting through. If Canada score on them when they do come out and be defensive as hell, and then gets a goal scored, and now they have no other choice more than to come out and play. We saw Trinidad that played against Jamaica. They win that game against Jamaica in the time when they came out and played. They
Yeah.
played against United States. When they came out and played, they won that game. You understand me? Everybody they seems to come out and play against. They actually won the games. They came out against Curacao in the last half. They won that game. They came out against Guatemala throughout majority of the game. They won that game. You understand me? So every game they came out and played. So that tells you. Because guys, go back and look at the Jamaica game. When they came out and played, Jamaica like they're shell shocked. Like, what's going on? This team was sitting back. So I think Trinidad has something more in them. It is just because the coach is just a dodgy coach that he believes that he knows everything and he wants to be
Hmm.
defensive as possible and keep the game as close, and then one toenail to a next toenail finish the game. I can't this Jose Mourinho type of behavior. I don't like it, brother. Play football, man.
I don't disagree with that, but again, some coaches, I think when you get to international levels, like some coaches, I think they give their opponents sometimes too much respect, and other times they think in terms of let's instead of saying let's take away things, they say let's minimize the damage, as if you're walking in and the game's already 3-0, right? And and that's a thing with Trinidad. Like even if you watch them at like the at the Gold Cup, there are moments when Trinidad was playing. You're like, I can see kind of what they're trying to do. I can see the vision. I can see it. And there are other times you're like, why are you playing as if you're playing like Germany? Like relax. Like you don't have to sit in the lowest of blocks and say you shall not pass. And I think there's enough there for some of these teams where they have players who can play out. They can play more fluidly than they allow themselves to do it. And I think sometimes you look at the sticker price and it's like, oh, you're playing the US, we'll sit back. Oh, you're playing Mexico, oh, we're not going to do anything. But then for again, when they played Jamaica, they just said, it's a derby, that's cool, let's go for it. And I think you need that mentality where it's we are going to play that style, and we're just going to go and play, and it won't be one way or the other. Now, granted, derbies are derbies, but I think ultimately that's what it comes down to. So when it comes to the matchups, JD, the
Mm-hmm.
matchups we have our we have four matchups really, two in the semifinals and then two to a point who's going to the Copa America. So you have Panama v Mexico, USA v Jamaica, and then
Mm-hmm.
for the Copa spots you have Canada versus Trinidad and Costa Rica versus Honduras. We kind of just talked Canada versus Trinidad. I am I
Yeah,
am weirdly confident
going
about
for
the
going
squad.
for a prediction. Guys,
For
give me some prediction, and
Yeah.
as we go to the prediction, because I've realized we have not even hit 100 likes on the video. Obviously,
Mhm.
I was sick a few days, and you guys fell out of love with the channel. So do us a favor and get it to 100 likes. And if you're over African's channel, please subscribe and hit the like button there as well. All right, yes. So get up the likes on the video. Give you, I wanted a prediction so we can close off that one and then move on to our next game.
Yep. So prediction Canada versus Trinidad. I think in a one-off, I can go best case, worst case, but I will go with it. I'll just simply say, I think I think Canada gets it done 2-0.
I'm going to go a little bit higher. I think this game finishes 3-1 Canada. 3-1
Hmm.
Canada. I'm going with 3-1 Canada.
Mm,
Yeah, I think Canada will win it, and it's going to be because of the coach's attitude. If he doesn't come out firing, wanting to go, this guy have gotten enough big games. He got Jamaica, got Guatemala, he got Curacao, he got so much big games for him to learn how it works. You understand me? Yes,
agreed.
and that is something that will come back to haunt him. So the United States second game, let's see how he approaches it now. If he comes back with the same attitude of being reactive, I think that means they are going to finally get rid of him, because I can tell you that they have wingers and players in their team that can start for other big teams as well, and they would not like to actually play
Hmm.
like this, to be honest. So if they can come out from the start and surprise me, then it's possible. Then it's possible
Hmm.
that Trinidad can get something from the game. But the sitting back, it is not the best approach to me, and I don't like that type of football. I saw a real ball. I said, "JD, you fight the Caribbean teams." I just pick my score line. That's all. I just pick a score line.
True, true.
Nothing else.
All right.
It's just because I'm watching the games. I mean, I'm not talking off. No emotion. I'm just watching the games and tell you what the coach doing. If I get that right, that means I could not pick up for Trinidad to win the game. It makes no logical sense. I have to just go with what the facts tell me. He's going to go every big
Hmm.
game. He goes the same way. All right.
True, true. So we got Tripoli giving 4-1. We had Prince Hood giving 2-0 for Trinidad. MPW 3-1 Canada. Doctor going for the 3-2 Canada. And then some more scores coming in. Corey MPA giving me the 2-0 Canada. Doctor's going for that. Trinidad to win 3. Okay. We see that. And going, and yes, this will be interesting. This will be interesting. Now, when you go to Costa Rica, Honduras, a lot closer than I think people will give it credit for. But at the same time, on paper, you have to ask yourself the question: are you going with the higher profile names, or are you going with the team that's playing better? Because I think Costa Rica, by the time you get to March, some of those young players they are hoping will be in better form. That system that they're trying to put in will look a little bit better. So are you trusting that some of those players got to go to the World Cup and experience what that is? Or are you going with Honduras, who some could argue should have come away and beaten um, Mexico, but did not? Who are you taking in this one-off matchup?
I think this game is going to be a close game. I do believe that Costa Rica will try and play a little bit more less expansive. Try to keep it a little bit narrow, and it's going to make it a closer game. Definitely, Honduras would be the favorites going in, based on the fact that Costa Rica is in a rebuilding thing. But I don't 100% believe that Honduras win it off the bat. I think it's going to be a tough one. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I would say Honduras going down as the favorites. But tell you what, I would give Honduras a slight edge here, and I'm going to do some research, and this is subjected to change. All right.
Mhm.
Yes. So I'm gonna
Okay,
go 3-2, 3-2 Honduras, 3-2 Honduras. Yeah. And
okay,
then closer to the time, I will give you a better update on it. But I'm
fair,
going for
fair. Guys, give
Honduras
us
at
your
the start.
yeah. Same thing, guys. Give us your predictions in the chat there. I think again for me today, it's a conversation of who looked better uh, in the quarterfinals. And if you're going to base it off of that, I think you give it to Honduras. And you say if they took Mexico to the brink, surely a Costa Rica team that was just played through and played in by Panama, this shouldn't be hard for them. But I know the Costa Rican young players, so I'm going to go a little bit against the grain here just today. We'll revisit this in
Mm-hmm.
March, but I think today I'm going to go Costa Rica 2, Honduras 1.
All
I
right.
think in that
See.
I think in a game they can get the result. I think I think that's how I feel about Costa Rica. I think if they can score, they're there, but they have players who've got know how to get a result, even if they were just bit players or players who started among the veterans. I think they can get it done. So in one game, I'll trust the experience over maybe my head and the form that I'm seeing. So I'm going to go Costa Rica 2-1.
All right, all right. It's definitely getting nice. All right. So guys, have we hit 100 likes on the videos yet? No, we haven't hit 100 likes. If you just come in, please do like, share, and subscribe, and also share to African's channel. All right. You need to get the link, Africans. You have not sent me the link, so I can post it
Oh, true, true, true,
here
true.
so people can go over there. Yes. So make sure to follow Africans, because as what we said, our intention is Africans to reach 1,000 on his platform as well. We are halfway there. So if we can run a few streams to get it up closer to that, then obviously after that, people will judge the content and then can continuously share it. All right. Yes.
Yes.
So go ahead, big boss.
No, no. And so I'll save the other one for last. So we'll go Panama versus Mexico. Um, this one is, to me, I'm not even hesitating. I'm not even breathing when I say this. Panama is taking Mexico out in the semis. I am saying this now. I don't care
Share
about
to me in the private
pedigree.
Africans, because it don't come up on my channel. So share to me in.
Okay, okay. We'll do that. We'll do
Hold
that.
on. Oh no,
I
hold on. I think I can copy it here. I'm gonna try and copy it. Yeah. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
But yes, I think the way Panama is playing right now versus how Mexico is now, the thing that we aren't talking about, which I think needs to be talked about, is is Panama going to be in the same form that they are now? Because MLS season is finishing. So unless you're saying a player like Casillas gets a move to Europe, form will be something. You'll just be at the beginning of the MLS season by the time you get to that March window. But based off what I've seen today and what I've seen here, I am
Mm-hmm.
saying Panama takes it. They get revenge for the Gold Cup finals, and they take it 2-0.
All
2-0
right.
versus Mexico.
Oh, all right. All right. So for me, I love what Panama are doing. I love what Panama are doing. And this is
Mhm.
going to be a repeat of the Gold Cup finals. Panama, their system, love it, love it, love it. They caused Mexico all sorts of problems the last time, but I still believe that Mexico is going to get the job done over Panama again. Yes, I think we are disrespecting Mexico. I think Mexico's pressing, their close spacing of play is a way to it's still a problem for majority of the systems in CONCACAF to break down. So if you're
Mhm.
going to win games, you're going to win it either off a free kick or something. And because they can dominate plays, they just need one of their Jimenez to actually just fire on the day, because they are going to create
Mhm.
10, 12 big chances in every damn game they do play. You understand me?
Mhm.
And I think it's not going to change. It's going to be a gunfight like the last time against Panama in the finals. And I have a feeling that I will bank on I will bank on Mexico's forwards by that time to fire. All right. I think Jimenez will get it actually right. And he's going to be an elite striker in the region. Maybe it's taking a little
Eh,
longer than expected, but
yeah.
he's going to.
I think Santi will eventually reach a level of one of the best strikers in the region. I think for me, I want to see him get to a bigger league. But Panama, I need more chaos in my Concacaf, JD. I need more chaos. And Panama, the way they're playing, yes, I get it, Devin. I get it. I get it. And yes, look, if we're gonna put on their conspiracy hat, I'll say this: Concacaf only needs one of those two teams in the finals. So if they can get either one of USA or Mexico, they'll be fine.
And I
Arguably, you'd
want to
rather
think
have
that
Mexico.
it should be Mexico. Nah, I think they want Mexico more, because Mexico stands full regardless. They could be playing Grenada. It's going to be full.
This is
So
true.
I
No,
think
this is true.
I think they will
Yeah.
rather Mexico. And obviously Mexico looks like they play a better brand of football than United States. So you're getting two for the price of $1. You know.
Yeah, that is true. But I think they have opportunities to go through. I think it would be great for Panama to go through the finals. I mean, I think to show the growth of the region, the ideal final is Panama v Jamaica. And Jamaicans, look, y'all beating us, beating Canada and Toronto is one thing off your shoulders. Beating Panama is just a whole conversation. And so I think that would be the ideal final to say, hey, this region is actually growing. So I think it's really good from that standpoint.
Uh,
But
you-
I think ultimately Panama gets it done.
So why they have to beat Mexico to tell you that the region is growing? I think the fact that they can go toe to toe with Mexico, and Mexico have to pull out different crafts and everything, just like Jamaica and United
Mm.
States. That tells you that the region is growing. Obviously, if they do beat them, I think that tells you that we don't have any standout. If you beat them in a dominant fashion, that tells you that we either have someone getting overthrown or this. There isn't a standout. And to be honest, I think that USA and Mexico is still the standout teams in the region, regardless of which type of patch they are going through. They're still a standouts. You know why? Because imagine if you change your coach completely. So you're changing your system, but yesterday can go on a pitch and the next team is already queued with a new coach, working on the system, planned out everything, and you have 3 days and they still can't beat you. So I think sometimes we talk because we're always talking from a lower perspective, like the underdog perspective. No disrespect to our our teams. We always seems to not give the persons credit to retain themselves at the top, even with limited time of changing a coach. You understand me?
Yep. And I think that's fair. I think that's more than fair to look at it from there. So Mexico v Panama. I give Panama the win here. What we got? We have MPW giving Mexico 3-2. Joanne
I'm going
giving
with the 3-1.
Mexico
3-1
3
I'm going with.
3-1 Mexico. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's going to be a
That
beautiful game. Beautiful
mhm.
game.
I think that'll
Can't
be the
miss
more
game. Quality football.
I think aesthetically that may be the best of the two semis. When we get to the
For
final one,
sure, it's
which
going to be the best of the two semis. I'm almost certain. Because the next one is
this
going to be a
this
run
next
up
one,
and down, art attack, drama, all
yeah,
type of chaos. Because one is the highest pressing metric team, and one just run up and down and just run up and down. So it's going to be the run up and down show. I can tell you, an art attack.
this
Very,
is true.
almost certain. Oh Lord.
Yep. Now we get to USA versus Jamaica.
Oh Lord, let me
Um,
write it down here. Oh my
yep,
God.
it begins.
Beer Halter versus Tapper 2.0, you know?
According to some. So
No,
Berhalter
according to
ball
me as well.
versus 442 for life. Um, look, I
So let me
said this
start
at
it
the
here. How
end.
impressed are
Go
you
go 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 go.
with Jamaica's system? Let me ask you a question because we're gonna talk Jamaica now, guys. How impressed are you with
Honestly,
Jamaica's system coming from? Sorry, Devon. Sometimes I can't bother with the heart attack football. I can't bother with it. I don't know which game we are gonna play, and we don't concede 2 goals. Devon. I don't know. It does not look. Even you as a coach, I know you know you agree with me. I don't know I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know if this guy saw what Damian Lowe did and realized that that is the way. Um, that's the actual way to go with it. Just find the right person because Damian Lowe is definitely not the piece for it. But just find the right person to get the job done. I don't know because he's a stubborn coach and he might just go back to his 4-4-2 again. You understand me? So if it goes back to the 4-4-2, I just expect pressing from United States and just run up and down from Jamaica. You know? So
so yeah,
definitely the
I
next
think,
match is going to be the more tactical, entertaining match to me. I am almost certain that will be the case.
but like, so to answer your question, how impressed am I with this coach? Um, for me, I'm not. And the reason is the midfield has been an issue for years. And yes, he's tried things, but since he's been in, he hasn't been able to find a solution for the midfield. The only temporary solution he found was for those 16 minutes against Canada. So now I have to look at his entire time. And yes, you could say maybe previous players could have fit the role, sure. But from what he has selected, the midfield has always been to me the big issue. And To this point, he still hasn't solved the midfield. So to me, it's a conversation of he has 3 months. He has 3 months to figure, because on the pitch, that's, if you want to say Jamaica's a complete team, let's play this. What is Jamaica missing to be a complete team or a more solidified gel team? No one's gonna say, oh, we need another striker, right? No one's gonna say it's, oh, you need Mason Greenwood to come in. Everyone's gonna say it's the midfield. No one has questions about their center backs. You trust them enough. The fullbacks, yeah, I know Javane Brown still plays. I get it. But even Javane Brown has had his moments where you can see the coach is saying, do I need to lean on him? No? Okay, we're not. And the CDM, I will go specifically for that, is the position that I'm waiting for. So he's got these results without it. He got the result against Canada by really, you want to say it's a stroke of genius, you want to say it's an act of desperation, regardless of what you want to call it, he made the move. But now the question
Mm-hmm.
is, okay, you've now reached a point where you have to put your center back in the midfield. Is this where the light goes off and says, um, when he's taking a nap and he's saying midfield, midfield, midfield? Is this where he wakes up and says, we need to go and find these players? Maybe. We don't know. But that to me is what's missing from them. For everything else they've done, I view it as you beat the teams in front of you or you get results against the teams in front of you. That's all you're supposed to
Yeah,
do.
because I
And they've
just
done
heard.
it. Yeah.
I just heard Nigel said, run up and down football has only lost two competitive games. I've heard people keep on saying that we only lost two competitive games. How much competitive games we actually played? And that's what we need to go and check and see if we never just beat the teams that we should be beating. We played two games against 80. We won one out of them, we drew one. We played Grenada. We won that game against Grenada. And then we played Mexico twice. We got battered in one, and we drew 2-2 in one. We played United States C team. We drew that one as well, and then we beat Trinidad, and then we beat Guatemala, and then we beat St. Kitts. So those are the
Mhm.
actual teams we actually beat Nitro until we played Canada. We lost against Canada, and then we lost. We defeat Canada in Canada. So the only team we actually defeat, the truth, Nitro, the only team we defeat is actual Canada. The only team we defeat that we never did should have defeated is actually Canada. You understand me? Yes. So for me, I think that is down to what we are doing on the field, which is the system and stuff. I think if we had better structure and maybe in the future is going to have it. If we had that from now, we would have gotten results. Maybe in the Mexico game when we drew 2-2. You understand me? Maybe we could get those results. All I'm saying is you could get better. You could get better.
Mhm.
Frost says, but a win is a win. I don't look at it like that, and I don't think people that has continuation on their mind look at life like that, because the coach is not going to leave the job after winning that game. He has to play the next game as well. So a win can't just be a win. That makes in a coach's job, it does not make the I'm not going to say it does not make sense, but because you have a development program, you need to see something, not just winning a game. You need to see some development, because you can't keep on cheating the system. And that's why we talk about the Panama and what Panama have been doing, and we're saying how long it's going to last and stuff, because they have developed a system. You get me? So a win is just a win. Can't be your. That is like, because you're a Jamaican and we're talking about Jamaica, you just pick that story. Oh, a win is just a win, But most others would want to always say that I would rather to have a system that we have perfected, because once you do perfect that, that simply means we are going to only push on and continuously dominate football. So like City and use a country then, Spain. Spain tried to fix their system of play, and then put it out in the ladies football, and Spain turn out to win U17s, U20s, and the main World Cup, all three in 1 year. You understand me? Because they have perfected their system, even with half of their squad talking about that they are not going to actually play. They still perfected the system. So it's plug and play after that. It's plug and play after that. So for us, that's what I would believe, because I want to have something that I can come and tell the fans. We are at 60% now. We are at 70% now. We're at this and that. Something I can check to see what I wanted to do, and I think from there the results will truly come. I can understand what you're saying still, but I think we are better players than what we are doing, or we're playing. I think we are better players, can pull up a better job still. But that is just my take. And OP continues to get good results and the team continues to improve, for my liking. So what say you guys? What say you guys? Let me see if we passed 100 likes. We have not passed 100 likes on the video, people. All right. Let me hopefully it improves, because I would like to see some improvement. Obviously, we saw something work against Canada. It can't The same thing can't work against United States. So let me update you. What were you watching the game? We still never had the defensive central that we wanted in the game. I think people never looked at the system well. So we never actually used a defensive central. We used two lower third midfielders and Bobby Reed in there to make a three. So it was a 4-2-3-1 system we were playing, not necessarily a 4-3-3, to be honest. So that's what we are actually doing. So we never use no CDM. We are using two lower progressive midfielder, which is Daniel Johnson and Damian Lowe. And Damian Lowe run left the spot around 6 to 7 times. And through that same little short 60 minutes, Canada got 3 chances through that same spot. And I saw the ball just passing Damian Lowe like this. I slowed it up back and play it again. I just see the ball passing Damian Lowe like this. Just go back and look again, guys, just like this. So when we come here and say that people do a job, obviously you got the job done. But the coach will look at all of those things. And if you are one of Damian Lowe's fan and you think that he should go in midfield, the coach and people that makes decision will always look at those things to prove that he can't do that job for a sustainable period. You understand me? Because me rewatching the game now we know that Jamaica won, and see all of the mistakes and them stuff that happened in the time. I want to say that
Yeah.
it's it's something that we have to work on. We have 4 more months, or we have what 4 more months to work on that.
Yeah,
So
4
four more
months.
months is
Mhm.
to work on all of those things.
Yeah. So for me, I think he's gotten them here so far, but those pieces are still there. Does it mean that he can't fill them? No. So for those people who are saying yes, it's a work in progress, I won't disagree with you there. That's true. However, this is probably now, of all the teams he's played, this is the first. This is where I don't know. I don't rate Berhalter, but I think he's a better coach right now than Holmgrenson is. And Berhalter can't. The thing with the U.S. team is their profile of players changed the dynamic of what they try to do. So I think whatever, if Jamaica decides they're going to put Low in the midfield, you have a coach who can, at least from the get go, tactically work off of that. And if you decide to put them in the midfield after a stretch of time, there are changes that the U.S. can make just based off their 23, or even you could say out of their top 33 players, that there are players that they can put on that will negate that.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with Africans. Look like Africans having some difficulties. Yes, I would agree with Africans. Yes, James Smith. Yes, because remember, the problem is, a lot of people just watch the game once and then just come and talk on just the point that they can have their ego strokes on, and just the people just like to exaggerate. So I have to watch it over and over to keep on learning what went wrong or what did played out good. And to me, Bobby Bless, I understand that I would just advise people, go back and watch the game. Now we know that Jamaica won. Just go back and watch the game. Now we know that Jamaica won. Bobby Bless, remember, he was at centre back, and he was doing okay at centre back. We still gave up a lot of chances at centre back as well, included him at centre back.
Mm.
So if we can't fix our centre back problem, why we should move someone from centre back to go in midfield, when we might have to rely on them to recover in at centre back? No, I think you go and find a midfielder. Now you know what the problem is in midfield, rather than stay here, wait for 4 months, then waste our time because we know exactly what will happen. You get me?
Fair. That's fair.
Yes,
So
I think I would want to have my replacement rather than wait on Damian Lowe to provide the solution, which I know
yeah,
won't happen.
yeah. If I'm the coach there, I'm saying, okay, worst case scenario, let's find a CDM. Worst case scenario, we can put him there for a little bit. But the thing is, that's now on tape. Now coaches know you'll do that. And if they
Ah,
do that, then it's a conversation of you can adjust to it, move to it. But I think for that, that's where it is.
yeah.
Predictions, guys.
But before you go, Africans, Bobby Bless said he played
Yeah.
that position before. Bobby Bless, he played that position in Austria before. And Tapa, that we said don't know nothing about coaching, said Damian Lowe don't know him I do. Him I run up and down like a headless chicken. Go back and listen to the way again. It looks like people have amnesia. And go and listen to what the coach said this time. You think maybe the coach never talked like how Tapa talked the first time. You understand me? But he's saying identically the same thing. It might work, but it work on behalf of Canada not doing what they should be doing. And it's the first
Mm.
time I actually heard him talk as if he had a concern. So I am not going to draw on the short for one comment, but I'm just trying to tell you that if let the player play centre back and just try be as good as a centre back as best as possible. You know? Yes, I
Mm.
would want him to stay
No,
at a
and
centre back, him and Ethan Pinnock, and that's it. We go and look a midfielder. Because he did not play CDM, people. He never played CDM. So the fact that you come here and said that you want him to play CDM, he never actually played CDM in the game. In the same game, he never actually played CDM. So we can't argue that we want him to play CDM when he never actually played CDM in this game as well. So please go and look at the game again, and then we will have the discussion. That tells me you guys actually was just reading off people's title, thinking that he was playing CDM. But remember, I am the man that watches these games and take my time and come here with information. He never played CDM. Go ahead, Africans. Go ahead.
no, well, all that being said, guys, give us your predictions in the comments below. I know there's a couple questions that we didn't get to, which because I jumped enough, we'll get to them. But guys,
Yes.
put your predictions for that matchup here, and we'll go from there. Because I did see something from the question is Berhalter a better coach than Halgrimson? Look, in the actuality, he may not be, but the difference is we've seen him at a level actually coach and get results. We seen him at the World Cup draw England. Say what you want about that team. He drew England. He got a draw versus Wales. He's got the results. I don't think he's good. I think he's carried by his talent, but at least we've seen he has a resume that says, I've at least done these things. I don't think they're that impressive, but he has the
Algrimson,
resume.
I think Algrimson is
Alvarez,
closer to Angus Eve. I think he's closer to Angus Eve, and it would have been better if he was coaching Trinidad. His results would have been miraculous. Or the style that he wants to work with, I honestly believe so. Yes, I honestly believe so. I think Jamaica having so much talent give Mr. Algrimson more problem. I think it actually gives him more problem because he can't get to structure his team how he wants. He always comes off to tell you that he's a defensive first coach. but he has no defensive players to stop his problems. So he has to go and
Mm.
set up a next way, and he keeps on getting it wrong over and over and getting bailed out by talent. You understand me? So um, I respect it because every coach has their own day. That is true, but I think that, no, it's not a disrespectful. Oh my God, you know what? Let me leave it alone. I'm just trying to tell that and I think he prides himself in wanting to be a Jose Mourinho type coach. That's what he is. That's what he
That's fair.
is. We have the serious talent in our region, because in the worldwide we don't have the level of talent to compete with our worldwide teams. But in our region, we have more talent to compete with everybody in our region. You understand me? Iceland never have the talent to compete with nobody in their region. So what they had to do is to play, is to do a Trinidad style. How they qualified through the Nations League Africans. That's what they did. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he's that type of coach. He's a Viking, He's a Viking. So
Yeah.
you want to have odds to fight against. You understand me? But when you're
Mhm.
in Jamaica team, you don't have such odds, because every team you're playing aside from Mexico, United States, and Canada, you should be beaten. You should be beaten.
No, that's that. Well, and Panama. That's at Panama because that goes to the next thing. But
Yes, and
guys,
Panama. But
yeah,
you guys understand what I was talking
yeah.
about. Yeah.
All right. So, guys,
Uh,
predictions for this matchup. I've only seen 2-2 penalties and 2-1 USA from Nitro.
oh,
So, guys, give us your predictions here and
okay,
let's
but
go.
Africans, Africans look like he wants to run.
I'm not trying to
But
run. Oh, I'm here. I am here.
no, because me and Deja bad me up for my answer and question about me and Deja. I never saw your question.
Okay. So, here's the
Okay,
question.
okay. My question to you again: when Kante all over the pitch, a break up play, I never see them play. I'm just trying to get what you're saying. All right. So what I'm saying is, when they moved Kante, and Kante was all over the pitch breaking up plays, he was playing in a more box to box role. So Kante did two roles for Chelsea. All right. Yes. So when you move out of the role and going up without your team pressing, because remember, Jamaica was not pressing when Damian Lowe at the left wing. Jamaica actually got caught out, and won it on the break, and he ends up in the left wing channel and never tracked back. But even the coach said it. It was not a CDM role. It was an advanced box-to-box midfield type role he was doing. So that's what he was doing. Main danger. So it's not me you have to argue with. It was physically there. It was said, the duty of the player. You understand me? And I'm just saying that will get caught out, because that means you're leaving one midfielder there, and you couldn't do it with two midfielder. So it's going to get worse with a person that's moving out of position, and he had it two times and caused problems twice, main danger. So all I'm saying is, if you're doing a job at centre back, I would not want to risk him moving up the pitch, because after a couple minutes, after 60 minutes, he looked tired already after 60 minutes. So I was analyzing all of those things. So that is where I was coming from. That is where I was coming from. That is
All
what
right.
where I
So,
was coming from. So his
yeah.
his his stamina level is not good enough at this point, and I don't think it's going to improve in the 4 months, because his club will not play him in that position. You understand me? So it takes a lot more people for we to ask for these things from players. That's why it takes you 15 and 12 years to develop in different positions. It doesn't come by accident, people. Just please understand me, no, man. I want Jamaica to win here. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't start a narrative and force the coach to have to play it. And then when the coach loses, then you guys are going to be the same guys coming to disrespect the coach. So I'm just trying to
True.
make the coach know that we are thinking we are seeing. So coach, put the player where he should play, and don't let any man tell you oh, this now work, coach. Let we do this. If that's it, that if that's what you're gonna do, you need to leave the job.
All right. So there's a lot
Yes,
of questions
yes.
we missed, guys. I do apologize. We've been jumping around. My ADHD is real. Drew Ross had asked this question a few back. So who should we use in the midfield then? Is there a player, JD, you're thinking of that we either have used or we can go hypothetically you could recruit to be in that CDM role for Jamaica? Who is that solution for you there?
Be honest, be honest. The player that all people avoid to actually talk about doing the CDM role, it is shocking. The player that should be doing the CDM role is actually Ethan Pinnock, and use Damian Lowe and Hector behind. The only centre back I would trust to play a sole CDM role is actually Ethan Pinnock.
Okay.
And I've heard nobody talked about that, and not realizing the skill set that people realize. You have to have a specific skill set, and you don't realize it. Ethan Pinnock that actually have the skill set to do the job over Damian Lowe, and Damian Lowe can stay in his centre back position. It's actually Ethan Pinnock, so people never look at that, because I was measuring it up, and seeing it, and that's what come to mind. I'm saying we could use it, but we would have to use Ethan Pinnock, because he has the passing range, the composure there, the positioning, the spatial awareness. But he's slow. Oh my God. So, Fras, have you ever watched CDMs? The man him say, but he's slow. DJ, I'm telling you, people, I am telling you. You see, education is a wicked thing, You hear what Alphonso Davis said about Thomas Muller? He was always there before everybody else. So why the sense he needs to have speed? People, Busquets is Ethan Pinnock is 60 million times faster than Busquets. It is 60 million times faster than Busquets. Busquets are one of the greatest CDM ever played football. What people at Jamaica alone talk about run up and down? Africa, the fastest footballing country. Have one of them ever won a World Cup or ever advanced to no level of World Cup, people? Just please answer my question. You know why? Because technical ability is always better. Passing the football around, moving the football around, no care how fast you are, you could have run down a million lions and tiger. When the football move around you and it moves quick, fast in a triangle trap, you are done. You are done. All right. So let me talk reality. People that talks about it's only Jamaica and African games I've watched, and people talk about speed and all of those stuffs. I don't know what to talk. People, please stop listening a lot of people about the Ethan Pinnock slow. Just watch Ethan play football. Just watch Ethan Pinnock play football, real life football, and stop this Jamaican conversation of run up and down, big, fast, and strong. It don't work. You will get embarrassed by Japan tiny 16-year-old team. Remember, they were running through Damian Lowe's legs. We forgot about that. They weren't faster than Jamaica. They were fitter than Jamaica, and they are tactical aware than Jamaica on the day. And they were younger players against professional players, and they ran rings around Jamaica because the football was moving and they are moving slower than the football. And it doesn't matter how fast we couldn't get closer to them. They could have even walked through our legs. People, Akanji ain't the fastest, but he played right back. He plays in CDM the other day instead of John Stone. John Stone ain't the fastest. Rodri ain't the fastest. So why are they so good at playing right back? Because it's your brain. It's your brain, people. So stop this of ooh slow and ooh this. It don't work. It don't work. Majority of these defensive essentials, they are not. They are, you know, the best way. They are fast in their brains. Let we finish it right there, Africans. They are fast in their brains, so they don't need to be. They need to be. They don't need to physically be fast. Then they are fast in their brains. All right, Africans, we're
Fair
not
enough. Yeah,
hearing.
yeah,
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 we're
yeah. We're
just
back.
hearing.
We're back. We're back. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So yes, African teams won the Youth World Cup. That does count. Going through some of the comments here. James Smith thinks Low is a better experiment, and at this point, it is an experiment. There we go. Morocco went to the semifinals with playing Hungary style of football, perhaps, but they also had a better team and could play variety of styles of football there. So I think you have to give Morocco a lot more credit there. That's the African in me. And Valderrama was the slowest, but was one of the better ones. I lost this question, JD. And I guess we wanted
Mm-hmm.
to finish here, even
Which
though
one?
our 1 hour
Mm-hmm.
stream is looking like a 2 hour this time.
Yes,
Um,
it can't pass 2 hours though. And two
yep,
hours done. So we're giving him 35 and then we disappear.
yep. So the question that we got at the beginning of the stream was, where does Jamaica now rank? They've made the semis of the Gold Cup. They've made
Mm-hmm.
the semis of the Nations League.
Mm-hmm.
The question was asked to me, do I consider them a top 5 team in this region? I mean, sorry, a top 4 team in this region. And the answer to that question is no. I don't consider Jamaica top 4 in this region because I still have Mexico. I still have
No,
um,
they're done me in the chat, you know,
yeah,
because they want
I
them
see.
and
Don't worry,
just
I
run
see it. I
up and
see it.
down.
I still have USA and Mexico above them. And I have Panama above them. And the question is now, what do I put them up? I don't mind putting them neck and neck with Canada and saying Jamaica and Canada are tied for 4th. I don't mind doing that. You may think Canada shouldn't be
So
there.
how
That's your
your
opinion.
list
You can do
looking?
it.
Because for me, I went for I almost gave Mexico first, you know, the other day. So I went for United States first,
Yep.
Mexico second by an
Yeah.
inch.
Oh,
United States and Mexico first and second by an inch. Then Panama in clear third. Then Canada fourth, still stayed fourth.
yep.
Jamaica jumped from the six, seven position because them
Yep.
and 80 was still working that out. So they have defeated 80 after the draw, and they defeated Panama, they defeated Canada. In one of the legs and lost to Canada in one of the legs. But based on the ball game that played, I still believe that if we played Canada again, Canada would still remain the favorites in that game just
Sure.
the same, and we would have to upset them again. So because of that, I can't fully say that we have passed Canada, but we have drawn closer to Canada. Very,
Yes.
very much closer to Canada. That's what I would say. So I wouldn't put them up over Canada at this point because of all of the things that we were talking about. So I would put Jamaica at 5, but they have passed Costa Rica without beating Costa
Yes.
Rica.
I
Yes,
agree.
they have passed Costa Rica without beating Costa Rica. So Jamaica would be at 5. I would keep Jamaica at 5 at this point. Jamaica jump up 1.
Yeah, guys, give me your top 5 CONCACAF teams because JD, my list is different from yours. I think it's USA 1, Panama 2, Mexico 3, Canada 4, Jamaica 5. I think that's my top 5 Pagan, like I said, it's USA, Panama, Mexico, Canada, Jamaica. Those are my top 5 teams in CONCACAF. And I have no issues with that. Um, so I think that's where I would go, guys. Give me your top 5. You still going Mexico above Panama for now? That's fine. They get the
Yes, I am.
brand. They get brand recognition. That's fine.
No, no, but Africans, what Panama? Let we have that discussion. So
Okay.
just as we talk about Jamaica, don't jump over Canada. Mexico defeated Panama the last time. They lost to Honduras once and then defeated Honduras on the return. Right. So what have given us that? belief to say that, and they beat Ghana as well. They beat Ghana, right? They beat Ghana.
Why?
They
What does
no,
Ghana
they,
have to do with
no.
this? Yes, they beat Ghana. Why are you bringing them into this, JD? Why are you
So
bringing them
let
into
me
this?
let,
I'm
let,
accent.
let
We
me
save that for
let,
we. Why?
let please God, let me talk. Let me talk. I am just looking at all their games that they have played. People, they beat Jamaica, which were Jamaica jumping two spot. They destroyed Jamaica the last they met Jamaica, and Jamaica beat Canada in one of that. So they should get some credit because Jamaica is a rapidly rising team. Jamaica is a rapidly rising team. So they should get credit for that. And then they turn out and defeated everybody else. No, they never played much games, but they beat Ghana and drew with Germany in the time, and then come and draw last one of the games and won the next game. So I think
Yeah.
just by losing one game, I don't think it dropped them off so much. Obviously
Mm,
Panama have not lost any since actually. um Hold on. Panama drew one. Panama, they have not lost any since losing to Mexico. So that
yeah.
give them some credit to pass Canada, but not making two jumps. So that's why I made my statement to say that Mexico still stays the same place.
Mhm. I think I'm giving. I think I'm giving Mexico. I'm taking points away from Mexico for struggling against Honduras, and I'm giving and more than I'm giving credit for what Panama did, and that's why I'm putting Panama at 2 versus Mexico at 2, because for me, Mexico should have been able to, if we think Mexico is the team that we think they are, Mexico should have been able to not have to rely on additional time. I'm sorry, additional time. Any
Wow.
minute now, additional time. Don't worry. No. Guys, do you need more time? Do you need more time? Okay. Additional time. Okay. Oh, they scored? Alvarez scored? Okay. Call game. Call game. That's why. Panama went to Costa Rica, a team that they had played them tough, a team that had eliminated them from the World Cup, and they went and they said, "We'll take 3 here and we'll take 3 on the road. You can have one if you'd like. We'll take 3 both times." Yes, Mexico missed chances against Honduras, but that game in Honduras was all Honduras. So for me, that's where I'm penalizing. I'm penalizing Mexico there for that and that specifically. Giving some more top fives. Panama, USA, Mexico, Jamaica are your top 4. So then I assume you put Canada at 5, Giros. It's okay. You made me say it. I appreciate that. Okay. Um, we're all the teams that were neck and neck with us. You know what? You guys have surpassed them so far. And that's the thing. I'll give Jamaica, the top 5 is a closer category than the next group of 3, because to Jamaica's credit, they beat Haiti, a team that was in their range. They go and then they beat Grenada. Good for them. Very good for them. So I have no issues with that. So Jamaica clearly they're at the adult table for Concacaf. There's apparently 5 seats now, not 3, but we'll go from there. Nitro has USA, Mexico, Panama, Canada, and Jamaica, and then we have
Look,
that is not
look,
in
no, but
Concacaf.
look at
I don't know
look
why
at
this
look
guy
at
decided
James
to
Smith.
bring.
But look at James Smith list. James Smith has Jamaica as 6. This so I don't know. Okay, I can be. James Smith is the man that says Jamaica first, and I have Jamaica at 5th, and people cursing me out, and he puts Jamaica at
Yeah,
6th. So James, because Jamaica have not defeated Costa Rica in a million years, that's the reason why
yep,
they can't go above Costa Rica. So it's not based off what Costa Rica doing at this point, because remember they are rebuilding, So you're still putting Jamaica behind Costa Rica, because we said, based on what we saw from Jamaica, they are definitely not playing better football than Costa Rica. That is true, but Costa Rica's development is not there, so Jamaica can just play them and use power players and win the game. That's what I believe. So
yes,
that's
yes,
why in the power ranking, we would have put them ahead over Costa Rica. You understand me?
yep. I agree with that. Pagan retorting to me says, I like Panama, but I still got them below Mexico. That's fine. I think sometimes we give teams too much sticker price respect versus actual respect. Um, no, we're not going to talk about non-CONCACAF teams because I'm here to talk about CONCACAF teams. Ghana disappoints me, but that's not a surprise. The federation's a mess. Um, there's my comments. Dr. Hero gives us Mexico, USA, Panama, Jamaica, and Canada. Well played, well played.
See,
Um,
Mr.
yeah,
Mr. Porter, I say everybody fear.
yeah.
Um, everybody's saying that Canada and Jamaica, about the same places and stuff.
I think
James
that's
Smith
fair.
said that.
I think that's a fair thing to say. Yeah.
Oh, but James Smith said until we can beat Costa Rica, we can't be ahead of them. So, should we agree with James Smith? No, but that no, because Panama never beat Mexico. So that kind of defeat the argument, Africans, because that means Panama cannot be above Mexico. You understand me?
Well, if you're gonna use that, well, again, you're using history versus form, right? But that's like saying, but that's the same argument that people would say for Canada during World Cup qualifiers, where it's like they've never won on the road in Concacaf.
Yes.
Good luck in Central America, and they got it done. And they were like, okay, they did it. So
We have to watch the games and judge off based off how we're watching the game, James Smith. And I want to say that even though I think if we play Costa Rica will run us to the end and look better than Grenada, maybe look better than 80. I still believe that Jamaica could have won the game either 1-0, no, 3-2. You understand me? Because we always concede 2 goals
yeah,
against anybody. So 3-2. But we would have won the game. So I think we would have won the game,
fair enough. Calling
I
Quest, Calling Quest gave us that 6. But sorry about that, JD. But yep, we already went through James here. Kevin says, if we beat USA next match, it won't matter what people think because the rankings will put us up automatically. No, if you guys beat the US, I think you guys clearly passed Canada.
Yes, you will
The
be in the
one
third
caveat,
spot. I think third spot, yeah.
well, third or fourth, depending on where you have Canada on your list. But yeah, I
Oh yeah,
think,
we couldn't drop
yeah,
down United States to fifth, fourth. Oh, sorry, sorry,
no, no,
sorry,
no, no, we're
tactical,
not going to do
sorry,
that.
tactical, and all of the American fans. I'm sorry.
It'll be a good matchup. There's no doubt about it. But I think the one thing is how they beat. I think there is a scenario where Jamaica can outplay the US on the pitch, but they have to be tactically sound. And I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if they'll do it. They have 3 months to do it. Holgrimson has 3 months to sit in the lab and say, "How do we play this game in a way that we can actually do that?" And we'll see if they're able to do it. Still respects Costa Rica, says Pagan. Patrick Riley has Jamaica as number 7. Play better ball. Okay.
Oh, so
Where's
Trinidad
Costa
is
Rica?
above. Oh my God, Trinidad.
Wow.
So I actually think 80 is better than Trinidad. Patrick Riley. I think 80 is better than Trinidad. I think people sleeping on 80. 80 is better than Trinidad. Remember, 80 keep meeting Jamaica with not their full strength team. So
Yeah.
imagine when they get the full strength team. Yeah. So yeah, 80 is better than Trinidad. So I think people, go ahead, Africans, go ahead.
James Smith says right until you beat CR convincingly, they are ahead of us. Cool. Stephen Jordan, thank you for being here. USA, Mexico, Panama slash Canada, Jamaica. Jamaica has the highest potential, though. Of course they do. No one is denying that. But see, Costa Rica can't
No,
match us
Jamaica has the highest potential in the CONCACAF.
right now.
Are we disrespecting United States and Mexico? Really? That's how we're going to look at life. The
I
highest potential? Are we
I
have the
think
potential to be in the top three? Let me talk real. Let me have that reasoning for the next 23 minutes. Are we really saying that a country that no, Nitro, I never said 80 is better than Jamaica. I never said 80 is better than Jamaica. I said 80, I think 80 is better than Trinidad. That's what I've said. Prince, I am not sleeping on Trinidad. I'm just telling you that I think 80 is better than Trinidad based off what I saw. Obviously, I want Trinidad to come out and play so I can assist them. Um, Africans, are we truly saying that Jamaica have the highest ceiling? with
um
with MLS in the United States and all of United States players then playing overseas and
I
keep on
think
getting better.
I think if you're asking me, I think they have In terms of highest potential, they're second to the US. Because the thing that Jamaica can do, which is the thing we've always talked about Jamaica doing, is
Mm-hmm.
they can hypothetically go to transfer market, find everyone who likes whatever drink they like, red stripe, whoever likes rice and peas, whatever it is, whoever likes red
Mm-hmm.
snapper, bring them in, and then it's okay. You guys have a brand new team, and you can do that. I like the US's potential more because that team is younger. I like the US's team more because they're younger, and this generation can now grow. They go. Jamaica can grow. There's no doubt, and they can recruit, and they have access. And we've always said this about Jamaica. Jamaica has access to one of the biggest supermarkets in terms of football players in the world. Doesn't, but they don't shop there often. They've just walked in. Maybe now, maybe they'll find what they need for the meal. But I think in terms of the overall, I think it's USA right now, then Jamaica, because I haven't seen enough from what Canada is going to do. I haven't seen enough from what Mexico hasn't done yet, and the other teams. But I think those two countries, that is a fair statement to say that those two countries have the bigger potential of growth over the next couple of years based off the teams and the access to talent that they have.
I would agree with you that Jamaica would jump spots. I would put Jamaica third. I will never disrespect development for just picking up a bunch of players and put on a field. You can get away with it for some point, but I can't put Jamaica over Mexico in terms of development and quality producing. Even if we get all of the names on the list, I don't think we're going to be beating up Mexico. Remember, Mexico goes to World Cup and be consistently one of the most consistent teams in the world. That includes all of the English teams, them with the best damn players, them, and they are still outperforming England. People, don't disrespect Mexico, people. No care what squad we have, Jamaica cannot have a better pool, a better pool at any given time than Mexico. So Mexico, United States, I would put over Jamaica. Jamaica, I think, of the third best. I can call on the third best. But I think we should stop disrespect Mexico, people. I don't know if I don't know if it's just an
No,
easy way to just beat on Mexico. You know?
I'm going to I'm going to
No.
disagree with you, JD. I'm going to, and
Yes.
this is
Go
why I'm
ahead.
going to
Go ahead.
disagree
Go
with
ahead.
you.
Go ahead. Go
Right?
ahead.
I'm going to
Go ahead.
disagree with you because of this.
Yes.
I think yes,
Yes.
Mexico can develop players. No one is denying that, right? But in terms of, I can't believe it's not butter. In terms of walking into and grabbing, let's use a grocery store analogy. Mexico can develop. They can learn. They're trying to make they can do. Jamaica, using the grocery store analogy, can walk into the supermarket, pick up ready-made dish, and say, "Okay, we can
Mm-hmm.
feed 3 people
Yes.
today." They can pick up 2 dishes and say, "We can pick up 6 people today." They can go to the back and say, "We'll pick up 4 dishes. We can feed people for a week." Jamaica has access to that, so they're always the
I
wild
know
card there.
Africans,
They're always the wild
but
card there, and I think
but Africans, I've put them at third. I've put Jamaica at third in the talent pool. I put Jamaica at third in front of everybody else aside from United States and Mexico. And then people want to beat me to put Jamaica at second. One thing about but you know what? You guys take your second. I will stay with third. I just don't.
that's fine.
I
Yeah,
Mexico is the most successful team in our region. Obviously, yes, you guys said they have declined. That might be true, but it's very few teams you can put together that will go on a field and outplayed Mexico. I've seen Mexico use quarter squad, half a squad, piece a squad, 0%, 2% of a squad, and come up against Jamaica, and they still look better than Jamaica on the field. So that's showing you the depth of their actual team that they do have. People, please, I'm begging you.
yeah,
One of the
Uh,
best way we played Mexico was in Jamaica Africans. Go back and look at that game when Leon Bailey and
yeah. I
other
remember that
them
game. Yeah,
we performed the best. And and Mexico still performed better than Jamaica. Mexico still performed better than Jamaica, and that was a weak Mexican team. They used a weak one, and they still performed better.
Yeah,
Than Jamaica. Mexico still performed better than Jamaica in Jamaica. So I think we need to give Mexico their credit. We can take third spot and say that yes, we are taking third spot. We beat out Costa Rica, we beat out Panama, we beat out all of those teams. But I'm not going to disrespect Mexico because they have always done it on the world stage. I'm not talking about just Concacaf. Mexico did it on the world stage. Even this year, this World Cup, they went there and did the same damn thing. Just goal difference made them not qualified. So just I'm just not liking that we want to give away as people that has success and know how to get it done for
fair.
just putting up people upon a wall and say that they're gonna do it. I don't believe that, you know. I always believe in repeating the process.
That's fair. So in that case, then, yeah, I don't. Nothing you said is wrong, because the the longevity thing has to matter, right? If you consistently created this, again, Mexico has done this primarily with their own league, with their own players. The only difference is now you're seeing other countries be able to go through, and having access, like I always say, doesn't mean that you'll take advantage of it, right? Just because you have a great grocery store beside you doesn't mean you can A, afford to shop there, or B, that you'll actually go there. So I think all those things matter as well. But let's go through these comments here. We need a better player, better coach,
They're
consistently
all
past
agree
US.
with you. Yes. I don't know why everyone eat Mexico. It's just surprising. Like, I don't know why people don't like quality football, you know?
Mexico
700
is good.
passes, you know?
But like, there's a reality where we say this may be the weakest version of Mexico, and
Yes.
while we still say that, they are still better than 98% of the teams in this region. The weakest
Thank you
version
very
of them,
much. They
right?
just won the Gold Cup, you know. Something that a bunch of players that we pick up for Jamaica couldn't win with all second string teams of Canada, United States in. You couldn't win it. And that's
Yeah,
what I'm telling you. It's not easy to do. Mexico came up and played against Jamaica, and they never looked like they were subpar talents, Africans. They
yeah,
look like they are
that's true.
subpar talents against Mikel Antonio and all of the other bit. No, they look like
They did
they
not.
were at least equal as them, you know, but much more uniformed,
This is
you
true.
know.
This is true. This is true. All right, on paper has the best team. Yeah, but paper doesn't win games. You got to play them. Drew Ross there. People agreeing with either JD or me. We'll
No,
never
I
know
think
who.
they're saying Mexico will be getting washed by Panama, you know. Oh, Africans
Okay.
froze again. Oh my God. Oh,
All right,
he's
all
back now. He's
right.
back.
Another Mason Greenwood conversation. Hey, ah, okay, we're back. Okay, it's okay. Not yet. We'll definitely has the highest ceiling today. Please check back in a year's time. Wait till you see your U20 team. You said that about your last U20 team, and yes, our U20 team also struggled, so it's okay. We both went home together. Um, all right. Trinidad lucky El Salvador missed a million chances against them. Okay. They're not taking advantage of it because reasons. Yep. There we go. Tripoli agreeing with me. JD frame it. Send it to me. It's the greatest achievement of a day. Um, odd. Ion one says disrespectful because if we offer them Aki, they'll come. Look, I say the same thing
No,
about
he never
Canadians.
meant it
So
that.
yeah,
He
I didn't
never
mean it
meant
like
it that
that,
way.
but I mean it from the standpoint of find anyone who, even if they qualify as Jamaican or they qualify, I say it with Canada. If you like maple syrup, let's make sure you're Canadian. Bring them in and see if you like the country. Hayden and Lewis Baker, they need other names. All right. Look at Morocco and Nigeria, or Nigeria in the past. I maintain, JD, Nigeria and Jamaica are cousins in football right now. They have a bunch of forwards, midfield questions, and the only difference is Jamaica probably has a stronger in terms of goalie and back line than Nigeria does right now. They're just missing. And Didi helps it a lot, but right now that's where they are.
At least Jamaica have Andre Blake, and maybe Ethan Pinnock around the defense. But they do have Bassi as well. So Bassi is a solid player. And the goalkeeper, I think we could have borrowed weight and put in Nigeria's goal. But Nigeria
Mm,
have a superstar midfield to forward line, but that don't win games.
it
Yes,
does not.
yeah, you don't win
We
games. No matter who you're playing.
already. A lot more. If Leon Bailey would actually play good for Jamaica, they can beat the USA. I'm not going to do that bet. How many posts does Leon hit versus goals he scores? That's not a fair bet today. Most of the good players available have been identified. We don't have too many who have committed. Who are yes, we know who are lower league players aren't enough. No, but you have access to it. No one's ever denied that Jamaica never had access to good players. The question is, can you get them in? And that's what I've said on this
No,
channel.
no. The question is not can you get them in. Is the question if you want them.
Ooh,
That is
okay.
that is it, Africans. It has always been if you want them. Jamaica culture is very, very different, Africans. All right. Yes.
Yep.
If you want them. Yes.
Third is suitable. Jamaica is number one in talent pool. Out potential pool is best because of access. All right. Having a pool doesn't mean that you'll win. It just means you have access. And that's the thing I always say about Jamaica. You have access to it, but it doesn't mean that you always
Mm-hmm.
shop there. So that's fair. Steph saying
Yes.
again, Panama's a strike away from watching Mexico. So even Canadian, Steph
I,
just causing a
I,
bag of problems in the stream here.
yes, Steph keep on saying, keep disrespecting the Mexicans. You're gonna see them around again, because Mexico it was actually good at football since Jesus Christ, and that was a long time, and they are still good today. All right, yes,
So you're saying Mexicans were passing the ball with Romans. They were just doing 1-2 passes around
Romans, believe
Romans.
me, yes, a long time. All right,
All right.
yes.
Patrick Cameron says Mexico haven't declined. The other teams in the region have caught up to the top teams. I think that's a fair statement to make. I think in terms of the quality of Mexico, I don't think they are at the level that they used to be. But I think it's a step down for them, but also the region taking steps up. Things like the MLS and the getting players overseas does help. They're not at where they need to be. They really need to start developing better at those youth levels. I think leagues like the USL and the US are going to be key for that, but we'll see how that goes. Agreed. Jamaica has to start beating the US and Mexico on a regular basis to be top 2 or 3 in our region. No one's denying that. Not just saying we're missing one Ravel and Pinnock. Okay. Well, tell Ravel to find a team and then we'll have a conversation about him being on the national team again. I think that's the only fair way to look at
No, but
it.
Devon Porter said, apart from Mexico and USA, yes, Jamaica has the highest. But that's exactly what I tried to say, But they tried to beat me, and because Africans
Wow. JD's the
stir
victim
them up,
now. JD's the
stir them
victim
up
now. Okay.
for
No.
them
It's
to beat
okay.
me.
It's okay. No. JD out here being, woe is me. Oh, they
Africans
ganged
is
up
the
on
old,
me. Me and my close
Africans is
too.
the
They
host.
banged up on me. Oh, JD.
Africans is the host today, so he beats me up, Yes, yes, man.
Yes.
Canada was, Mexico was good from Jesus Christ. It was a long time. Mexico good at football, people. All right.
Mm. Okay, so we're going through. There's a lot more information globally about football. I do agree. Oh man, so as we're getting to the end of this, because we went 2 hours, we were planning on going what
Mm-hmm.
50 minutes. What to
Yes,
you? So I know we have a lot more Jamaicans here than
we
anything.
have
So I
8
guess
more minutes to go.
yeah.
Yes, 8
So
more
here's a
minutes.
question.
Tomorrow is the girls' time.
Oh
The
yes,
girls, reggae
that is
girls.
true. And for those who are watching, I got part one of two for Christine Sinclair's legacy. That'll be coming on the channel tomorrow. But here's a question for you guys: what is a successful Nations League for you? Do you have to win it to be successful? Um, for Jamaica, is winning the Gold Cup the only way that you can meet success? Is it putting up a good performance against the U.S.? Is it making the finals? What are you considering a successful tournament or a successful semifinals and either first or third place game for the Nations League?
If you're asking me, I I would say we already qualified for the Copa. So we go out there and give it our all. Obviously, we sure know that we're gonna miss Damara Gray. I am not 100% sure about Bowser because I
Mhm.
think Bowser supposed to accumulate a lot of yellow cards, and I think it passed the time. So I'm going to type in Shamar Nicholson just to
Mhm.
let me type in Jamaica, and then we go for yellow card. And I think Shamar Nicholson should get the 5 yellow cards already, and 5 yellow cards should mean you missed our next game. So maybe Bowser is out with actual Demari Gray. All right. So with that said, if both of them out and we can't get any replacement, Mikel Antonio will come in, but I still think it's going to be a big miss for both of them out. I think we have to just go there and do our best. A good performance there, and if we win it, it's over the moon. But if we have a good performance against United States and the scoreline stays close, and we look like we can develop a style and look, we are looking better. I would say that would be good enough for me. All of these games are free hits. If they do give me a win, I am over the top. But I am not expecting a win from these games. I just want better performances against these teams with our newfound big players, them, so we can get closer and closer to consistently beating them.
Okay, that's fair. I think. Look, the easy thing for me is a success for them is they've already made it. I don't think many of them thought they would make it this far. If you ask some
Hmm.
Canadian fans, they'd say Jamaica shouldn't be here. I'm not one of those. This was always a possibility, but I think
Canada have
I
an issue. Canadians have an issue. I'm very sorry. Yes, they have an issue.
they're we have to like I don't agree. I don't disagree with the sentiment that they're saying, but ultimately, like this was always a possibility. So this is never a thing that's going to. I think for me, if I'm Jamaica, how I play against the U.S. is going to say a lot to me about what we think the trajectory of this team is, right? Because let's just say they win third place here, but they play the U.S. and it's not close, right? It's because you keep on bringing up my country of origin, JD. Let's just say it's
Hmm.
USA versus Ghana, right? And that's the game. That's USA versus Jamaica, right? It's 4-0. A fullback just stops running because the Tim Way put the ball over him and kept running. He was like, "We're done." That's different. If Jamaica plays the U.S. to the point where it's whether it's even and on any day on any of the teams could win, what they do in the third place game doesn't matter to me. They have now it's officially sent a notice to at least the top team, which at least stylistically the U.S. it says on our day we'll get you, and if you're not on your day always, we will get you. So to me, it's how they look against the U.S. matters to me. If they beat the U.S., hey, good for them. But to me, if they can play a game, win or lose, and they can say, yeah, this was nothing. We were toe to toe here. We were even on the pitch. You Pulisic did something cool. Bailey actually scored a goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Balogun did something that's cool. Antonio scored a goal as well. Right? The midfield is always going to be a thing. I don't need to beat a dead horse. But if they play the U.S. and you look at that game and you think any of these teams can walk away with a victory, I think they have now sent a message not only to themselves, maybe that's the bat signal in terms of, hey guys, look what we just did, and we just brought these players in. That's a reminder. That's motivating to the young players who are coming up and saying we want to be a part of this, and that's maybe that leaf to entice those players who are maybe on the fence, saying maybe now we want to be a part of this. I think how they play the U.S. is very key because I think that this is their best matchup. The U.S. is the best matchup they could have asked for from a football playing standpoint. Because I think Panama would be too much passing them. Mexico, we already saw it. So in terms of their matchup, this is their best version of a team where they can play similar to what their game is and get something going. So how they look versus the U.S. is going to determine how successful or unsuccessful this tournament is for me. But let's keep going through these comments. Guys, let me know what you feel. Let's go through there. We have 2 more minutes. Any last questions you have for us?
Yes, and in the 2 more minutes, people need to get the likes up, guys. We have not even hit 150 likes on the video, and we did
Mm,
2 hours. So and we planned for only an hour max. So please do hit the like button to get us up to 200, but get us past the 150 mark. All right. Yes, this video was
Great to hear.
definitely different, and I do like it because at least we get to touch everything. It's not just
Yep.
talking in circles, you know, we get to touch everything. I do like that a lot more, to be honest.
Yes, indeed. James, so thank you. Richard says, winning it all. Ready to have a Success in Nations League. That's fine.
I agree with
Semifinals.
you. I
Yeah,
agree
and
that,
I
yeah.
think that's fair. Okay, giving a good account of ourselves, which I think lies more to what I was saying. And I think in that game versus the US, that's what they'll be able to do. What do we do against the US? Won't say anything, Africans. There are prospective players still looking about their paperwork, and that's great. I don't want to say more clerical issues than wins because you guys actually have wins accumulated, so good for you. But the game matters. The game ultimately does matter because it is your best showcase from there. So go from there. Leading a CDM, okay, who's a good one for CDM. We talked about it. JD said Ethan Pinnock at the CDM position, and that's where it is. You've looked at the Kone go for Canada. 3 players were offsides, yet still no VR because Kone wasn't offsides from that angle. Look, I don't want to complain about this game because look, all I'm going to say is the refing in this game was questionable, and that's the nicest way to put it. Okay, the ref went from saying, I have a date in 90 minutes to the date canceling and saying, well, I got another 48 minutes too. Let's call a few things. And that's my one frustration with the refs. I don't need them to be good. I just need them to be consistent. If it's not a foul in the first half, why am I seeing yellows in the second half? Right? If you wanted to make the ref has the first 5 minutes, first 10 minutes to dictate how the game is going to be played. And so and this is the same thing with the yellows that Jamaica got. I didn't like that they were calling those because in the first half, the ref was just letting them play. If you're going to let them play that way the entirety of the game. If the ref's going to all of a sudden try to say, oh, I need to get control of the game all of a sudden, that's your fault. He has the whistle, he has the cards. And he decides, oh, well, we'll do it in the second half. Whatever. That's my one pet peeve with refereeing, and that will always be consistent with there. So that is fine. We'll go from there. Thank you, Prince Hood. Jamaica has to win versus the USA. All right. And I'm a bit salty. Yeah, I'd say I got more seasoned than salty, you know. A little paprika would be too bad for me. But guys, that's been it. Guys, if you watch this on a rewatch, let us know in the comments all the questions that we've asked. Um, I know there was a question about how good is Canada without Alfonso Davies. I think Kevin Williams asked that question. Um, the only thing I'll say about Davies is this: Canada has to decide what he wants, where they want him to play. Is he a fullback or is he a winger? For me, I think he's a better off as a fullback because there's more winger options coming down the pipeline that'll be emerging quickly. If he plays as a winger, he blocks a lot of those players. So for me, I think play Davies as a fullback, and then you get some of those wingers in, and that opens up the pitch and the roster for more players. And you go from there. But that's where it is. The ref was terrible, and this is not for both sides. For both sides.
Agreed.
So that is what we will go from there. Guys, thank you for being here. All 100, and I think the most we had was like 186 in here. Thank you guys for being here, for all the likes, the subscribes, the conversations, guys. Let's keep it going. I don't know, JD, what you got coming up next on your channel?
I when I'm 100%, I think tomorrow I should be okay because I'm gonna get some sleep now.
Okay,
I will
okay.
be back tomorrow to preview what will happen in the night because I think we should have the girls game coming up, and then obviously we'll have Nigeria girls coming up as well. So just watch this space, guys. Turn the notifications on, and I will be back. I was not 100%. And I love the fact that people never bothered me so much. You still have a few persons still bothering me when
Yep.
I'm not online, but I respect that people respected my time, you know. Yes, so I'm trying to recover, and we are back in business. So thanks for all the real ones that hit the like button. Continue to support the channel. Massive respect for that. And
Wonderful.
you guys, please subscribe to Africans. I have pinned this link. he does his time in these spaces. So if you can get into 1,000, that would be very much grateful. I think we have to get the sensible people out there and
Yeah,
flying, because it's a better image for our region if all of the sensible people blow up on YouTube. So please do so. All right.
agreed, agreed. And Drew Ross, I said, play him as a fullback, not as a winger. So that's what I said. And James, you think that he's your kryptonite? All right. All good, Santini. You can rewatch it, enjoy the vibes, and watch my
Yes.
internet cut out 5 times and a billion times. Apparently, yeah, you missed a lot of great things. But guys, thanks for being here. We'll try to do this. We try to do this at least once a week all the time. So we'll try to do
And the
that as
we
well.
max it, and the we
Yeah,
max it though,
on a Max
because
it as well.
remember, it's more of a wide base, yeah.
Mhm.
And we can
But
put our Africans videos in it, yeah, African
indeed,
conversation as
indeed,
well, yeah.
indeed. But
Yes.
guys, you think he should stay as a winger? Oh no, I don't think he should stay as a winger. I think he should be a fullback. Because yeah, I'm not gonna go over. The man is a world class, closer to world class as a fullback than he is as a winger, to me. And if you have him there, then you can actually. Because here's my point, JD. I mean Drew. What puts more stress on a defense? Him without the ball or him with the ball? If he's overlapping someone, he doesn't have to be he doesn't have to time his run. He could be 8 steps behind and he starts running. He's already ahead of the person who stands still, who's flat footed. So allowing him to be in positions where he can overlap and do that, I think as a fullback, he can do that much better. That's kind of where I go from there. But we will agree to disagree. That'll be a conversation we'll have later. But guys, again, thank you for the time you gave us. We're gonna wrap it up here. Have a good night. GD, get some rest. Support
Yeah, man.
IMAX it, we max it. Support us here. And until next time, guys, bye bye for now.